one of my things I can't stand is when, like, school administrations or school districts or just schools in general are like, we love the arts, we support the arts, we're down for the arts, 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 we yeah, 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 and then their actions say otherwise. So I went from teaching dance. One, I just would like to say, when I was teaching dance, it was not in a proper studio, it was a regular classroom, it was a tile. I said, here you go, sis, do what you gotta do. I said, okay, I guess I gotta do what I gotta do. I came in, there wasn't anything for me. I had to get all of my stuff together myself. I jump started my school's program there. Okay, period, point and blank. I am the original. You know what I'm saying? And I think I did a pretty solid job. And what I will say about that was, after that, it really proved like, no, we'll throw you anywhere. What happened after that? They moved me to a different classroom. Classroom had carpet. Okay. From there, I was like, well, we need some floors. Okay, we got the floors. You can have the floors, sis. I put them up. I got help from my fellow teachers to put them up. There was nobody, no installing like that. We installed them ourselves. I did the research. They were like, if you want it, you gotta make it happen. Okay, bet. I'm gonna make it happen because my students deserve it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not about to just put my students in the carpet. We did have to deal with it for a few weeks, but I was like, this is not sustainable. I have them wearing jazz shoes, things like that. Like, that's not gonna work. And so then plot twist after that. That was my second year as a dance teacher. Third year, I come back. There was already inkling of, possibly not having the room anymore. Come back, for sure doesn't have the room. Gets kicked out of a dance room. Has to teach in cafeteria. You thought I was going to say? And what really sucks is it impacts the kids. You know what I'm saying? We love the arts. We're here for the arts. We support the arts. Your budget's short. You don't have this. You don't have that for costumes. Oh, but you have to ask the parents for costumes. We don't have this for that. Squeezing money out of them that they have, by the way. They can put it into testing and all this stuff like that, but they can't put it into the kids for their arts programs that they love, that they enjoy. This is their escape. When you got them testing and redoing tests because the first test wasn't the way you wanted that test to look and the results wasn't looking cute, so you have them doing another test again. And then also plot twist, because the test didn't look the way you wanted it to look, now you're canceling their classes. You're canceling their dance classes. So now they don't have that that freedom, that creative outlet, you know what I'm saying? So then you're canceling their classes. So I go from, okay, bet, I got plans, check, day of, morning of, by the way, we canceled class A, B, and C today. You're not teaching these classes today. Oh. Happens again. Oh. Plans ahead for dance performances and dance shows. Oh, this isn't going to work anymore because the test is in that place now. But the test wasn't there before. I came before the test. Oh, well, the test is there now, so you kind of have to shift some things around. I was literally on my own. Okay? So, and with the support of my other creative teachers around me as much as possible. But that first year, I was fighting for my life. We didn't really know each other like that. I had statements. I had things to say, and not everybody had the backbone. And then when I had things to say, always professional, always respectful, the people that I had to say them to, my administrators, didn't like what I had to say because it didn't align with their goals. It didn't align with the goals of the people at the top. That's why I say, one, I'll never work at a charter school again. And if you're wondering why were you there for 3 years, one, the first year I was there, before I was a dance teacher, fun fact, I was a science teacher. That's a whole other story on how that happened. I applied to be a dance teacher. If you want that story, let me know. I think I've talked about it before, but I can say it again. That was that. I ended up staying. One, I was under a 1 year contract thingy. And then, but two, I stayed to be a science teacher because they had another teacher leave before. And I was like, I'll stay for stability for the kids. I worked in the Bronx. Okay. And then I went to Queens and I worked there and I did dance the rest of the time period. But yeah. I was stuck. The job market's hard, basically. That's the summary of that story. The job market's trash. I was stuck. I think it's even harder when you go from being a teacher. Not many people want to hire teachers transitioning into other roles, which I think is a very false thought process, because if you can make it as a teacher, I think you could really make it anywhere. And thankfully, that was the thought process that my new job had. They were like, oh, girl, you made it out. I said, yeah, I did. They were like, you worked where? I told them. They said, yeah, girl, you're going to be all right. I said, I know, because I left. They didn't fire me. You know what I'm saying? I left. So, And I'm glad I left. I would never go back. I would, if anyone was like, "Hey, should I work here?" Absolutely not. And if I had children, I wouldn't take them there either. But at the end of the day, I really stayed for the kids. Like, I tried, but also I was like, well, I use this as an opportunity to give to them what I didn't have, especially in middle school. I didn't really start dancing until high school when I had a dance classes in my school, and like they really didn't have a lot, going for them. Mind you, I was the first person at their school, and because of their school system that they're in is so up and down and teachers are in and out, they weren't having a lot of opportunities to really learn technical skills or really learn specific things. And I made that a mission of mine, especially because I was teaching majority like black and brown students. That's my random story time. I was just thinking about that with like all the dance moms conversation and stuff like that. And I was just thinking about like the arts in general and how it's so inaccessible, based off funds and things, and the layers of that. And so when you do have the opportunity to be able to give that to your kids because of the school system that you set up, you would think you would want to treat it well and treat the people that you hire well. But that is not the case for some schools and some school systems.